In the dark room of an old Haveli, a girl sat quietly. Her face glowed in the moonlight, but her eyes hid a deep sorrow. "Allah, show me the way," she whispered softly, raising her hands in prayer. Outside, in the darkness of the jungle, a sob echoed, like a serpent hiding its secrets. This was Sana, a 19-year-old girl whose life was about to become an extraordinary tale, a story that would touch the heart. Was that serpent merely an animal, or was there an ancient secret hidden behind it? Sana lived in a small village surrounded by old forests and ruined Havelis that still whispered their stories. Villagers said these woods weren't just home to trees and animals, but also to spirits. Sana's parents had died in a road accident when she was just 12. Since then, she had lived with her Aunt Bano, a harsh woman who suspected everything. "Don't go into the jungle, Sana. There's black magic there," Bano shouted daily. But Sana felt a strange pull toward the forest. "I find peace there. Maybe Allah will give me an answer there," she would say. Each morning after finishing her chores, she would take her small prayer mat and disappear into the woods. Beneath an old peepal tree, she'd recite the Quran, pray, and pour her sorrows out to Allah. "Oh Allah, what is the purpose of my life? Why do I feel like something is calling me?" she often asked aloud. But in response to her prayers, only a single sob would echo from the jungle's darkness, a sound that stirred both fear and curiosity in her heart. One day, after finishing her prayers in the forest, her eyes fell on something strange. There was a small stone idol on the ground, carved with the shape of a serpent. The statue was ancient, with faded inscriptions etched onto it. Sana picked up the idol, and the moment she touched it, an odd restlessness rose in her heart. "What is this? How did it get here?" she wondered, placing it in her bag. But from that day forward, the silence of the forest began to feel even deeper. Was this statue merely a coincidence, or was there a deeper secret behind it? That night, Sana had a strange dream. She was in a place that looked like an ancient temple with serpent carvings all over the walls. In the darkness, a snake slithered toward her, its eyes glowing with an eerie light. "Sana, you are the one I've been waiting for," the serpent said. Its voice echoed with ancient sorrow. Fear and wonder rose in Sana's heart. "Who are you? Why are you calling me?" she asked. But the serpent simply smiled and vanished. When Sana woke up, her heart was pounding. Was it just a dream? Or was something real touching my soul? The next morning, when Sana told her aunt about the dream, Bano turned red with rage. "Crazy girl! This is the jungle's black magic. Throw that statue away," Bano shouted. But a strange determination had settled in Sana's heart. "I have to find out what this statue and that dream mean." She hid the statue and decided she would search for the ancient place in the jungle where the mystery might be hidden. But would this decision change her life forever? Or lead her down a dangerous path? Some village elders spoke of an old site deep in the jungle, a shrine or temple where centuries ago people once came to pray, but now it lay in ruins and people warned others to stay away. They said a divine serpent dwelled there, one that punished the impure and protected the pure-hearted. Sana thought, "If this statue belongs to that place, then I must go there." One afternoon, when Bano was away, Sana grabbed her bag and entered the deeper parts of the jungle. The path was rough. Thorns, rocks, and the eerie silence of the forest walked beside her. Finally, near an old peepal tree, she saw a ruin. This was the place. Serpent carvings marked the broken walls, and on the ground was a small ancient pond, its water glowing faintly in the dim light. Sana took the statue out of her bag. Sana took out the statue and placed it near the pond. Suddenly, a strong wind blew, and a strange shimmer rose from the water. "Is this a sign?" Her heart began to race. She closed her eyes and began to pray. "O Allah, show me the truth. Grant me the strength to understand this mystery." When she opened her eyes, she saw a reflection in the pond. It was a snake, but not just any snake. It was the same one from her dream. Sana's hands trembled. How is this possible? Why am I seeing this? Snake again? She tried to touch the statue, but as her hand moved over the ground, something shifted beneath her fingers. A stone had moved, revealing a small box hidden underneath. Inside were some old papers and a strange amulet, unlike anything she'd seen before. Her heart told her this was all part of a much larger secret. But was she ready to uncover it? That night, when Sana returned home, there was chaos in the village. A laborer who had been working near the jungle claimed he saw a giant snake with glowing eyes. It looked human. It saw me, and then vanished. He stammered in fear. The villagers were terrified. Some whispered that it was the serpent's revenge, for someone had disturbed its sacred place. Bano glared angrily at Sana. "This is all happening because of you. You shouldn't have gone there." Sana stayed silent, but her heart was restless. Is all this really because of me, or is the serpent trying to send me a message? That night, in her room, she opened the hidden box again. The papers were filled with ancient writing, perhaps an old language. The amulet held a tiny stone that sparkled in the light. She placed the amulet around her neck, and immediately she felt a strange calm wash over her. But just then, she heard a soft sobbing sound from the window, as if someone was watching her. Sana looked toward the window, but there was nothing. Only the darkness of the jungle stared back at her. Was the serpent drawing closer, or was it just her imagination? The next morning, she decided to visit Baba Rahim, an elderly scholar and spiritual man of the village, known for his knowledge of old tales and mystical matters. She took the statue, the box, and her dreams to him. Sana told Baba Rahim everything. He took a deep breath and said, "My child, this is not just a statue. It's a centuries-old secret. This serpent is not an animal, but the soul of a man trapped between punishment and forgiveness." He began to tell her an old tale. Centuries ago, a prince named Ajar lived in this village. He was brave and kind, but pride overtook him. He betrayed his own brother and caused the death of an innocent soul. For this sin, he was cursed by a divine or spiritual entity. He was turned into a serpent, and the sacred place became his prison. They say the serpent will only be freed when a pure-hearted soul prays for his release. Sana's heart pounded. Could I be that soul, or is this just a fable? Baba Rahim warned her, "This path is dangerous. If you try to uncover the truth, your life might be at risk." But something inside Sana stirred with courage. She decided to return to the sacred place and complete what she had started. That evening, she took a small lantern and wore the glowing amulet around her neck. When she reached the pond again, she noticed the carvings on the walls were now glowing with light. A strange sound echoed, as if Quranic verses and ancient mantras were blending into one. Sana closed her eyes and began to pray, "Ya Allah, show me the truth. If this serpent is a tormented soul, let me help him." Suddenly, a brilliant light rose from the pond. The serpent appeared, but this time its eyes looked human. "Sana, you are my prayer," the serpent said in a voice full of sorrow. Sana's heart trembled, but she stood her ground. "Who are you? What do you want from me?" she asked. The serpent simply replied, "Return tomorrow night under the full moon. You will know everything." Then it sank back into the water. Sana returned home, her heart restless. Who is this serpent? Is he truly the soul of Ajar or another spiritual being? That night, she held the amulet in her hand, hoping for answers. That night, Sana prayed again, but in her sleep the serpent appeared once more, this time in human form, a young man, his face full of sorrow and regret. "Sana, end my punishment. "Your prayer is my salvation," he said. Sana woke up with her heart pounding. Was this dream leading her to truth or pulling her into a dangerous illusion? Now she faced a great question. Would she unlock the serpent's secret or obey her aunt and the villagers and forget everything? Tomorrow was the night of the full moon. If she returned, would she free him or become a prisoner of an ancient? Curse herself, Sana's faith, her courage and her prayers were about to be tested. The next morning, she decided to visit Baba Rahim one more time before going to the sacred place. But before she could leave, her Aunt Bano stopped her. Bano's face was filled with anger and fear. "Where are you going? I won't let you enter the jungle," she shouted. Sana quietly hid the amulet under her scarf, but Bano's sharp eyes noticed. "What is this? Are you doing black magic?" Bano snatched the amulet and threw it to the ground. Sana's heart broke, but she didn't back down. "Auntie, it's just an amulet. I'm not doing anything wrong." But Bano's suspicions grew. She called some villagers and accused Sana of talking to the serpent. The villagers now looked at Sana with fear and suspicion. An old woman said, "She will break the serpent's curse that's been sealed for centuries. Throw her out of the village." Sana's heart ached, but her eyes shone with a strange light. "Why should I fear if Allah is with me? No one can stop me." She picked up the amulet and walked away, ignoring her aunt's rage. She headed toward Baba Rahim's small hut once again. There, she told him everything, her dreams, the voice of the serpent, and the meaning of the amulet. Baba Rahim held the amulet, studying the stone embedded in it.
The stone shimmered in the light. "This is no ordinary stone, Sana," Baba Rahim said. "This is the heart of the prince, who has now become the serpent." He opened an old book filled with ancient letters, the same as those found on Sana's papers. "These letters," he explained, "are written in an ancient script used for spiritual beings. Sana, the talisman and the statue are part of the same being. Prince Ajar was punished, yes, but his soul still seeks forgiveness. But this path isn't easy," he warned. "To unlock this secret, you must leave behind all fear in your heart. When you return to the sacred place, remember, Allah's name can protect you from all danger." Courage lit Sana's heart, but doubt still lingered. Is this serpent truly a trapped soul, or a demonic trap trying to lure me? Still, she made her decision. But when she returned home, a crowd had gathered outside her house. "Don't let this girl go into the forest. She's a danger to us all," a man shouted. Sana's heart pounded. Would she overcome the villagers' anger, or would their fear stop her? She picked up her bag and slipped quietly out the back. The villagers kept yelling, but Sana's heart told her she could not turn back now. "If I stop now, this secret will stay buried forever." She rushed into the jungle, but behind her, Bano and a few villagers began following. "Come back, Sana, or we'll lock you up," Bano yelled. But Sana didn't stop. Her footsteps quickened in the darkness of the forest. When she reached the sacred place, the water in the pool glowed brightly. The carvings on the walls now shone clearly, like an ancient story coming alive. Before her eyes, Sana began to recite a prayer. "Ya Allah, protect me and lead me to the truth." A powerful wind blew through the grove, and then, in the shimmering water, she saw the reflection of a serpent. But this time, beside the serpent, was a human face. The face of Prince Ajar. Grief and remorse etched deep into his eyes. "Sana," he said, "you are my last hope. End my punishment. End it," he said, his voice filled with a strange truth. Sana's heart trembled, but she didn't lose courage. "Tell me, what should I do? Why were you punished? And how can this be ended?" Before he could answer, Bano and the villagers arrived at the sacred place. "Sana, what madness is this? You're falling into the serpent's trap," Bano shouted. The villagers surrounded Sana. Her heart broke, but there was a strange light in her eyes. "I won't give up. Allah is with me. Could Sana overcome the villagers' fear, or would they hide this secret forever? Sana looked at the villagers and said with calm resolve, "I'm not under any magic. This is a soul seeking forgiveness. If you stop me, you might become part of his punishment." Her voice carried so much truth that the villagers fell silent. Bano's face turned pale with fear, but still held doubt. Sana looked toward the pool and started praying again. "Ya Allah, show me the truth of this soul." At that moment, a light rose from the pool, casting a strange shadow on the walls. It was the story of Prince Azar, alive in the form of a shadow before them all. The villagers watched in awe. The shadow told that Azar was once a noble prince, but pride filled his heart. He betrayed his younger brother and took the life of an innocent girl who threatened to expose his secrets. For this sin, a spiritual being cursed him, turning him into a serpent and imprisoning him in this place. "I've carried the burden of my sins for centuries. My soul seeks forgiveness, but only if someone prays for me with a true heart." Azar's voice echoed. The villagers were now afraid and amazed. Bano looked at Sana, shame and doubt in her eyes. "Sana, can you really free this soul?" she asked quietly. Sana nodded. "If Allah wills, I will try." "I will," Sana said firmly, but Azar's voice echoed again. "Sana, it won't be easy. To end my punishment, you must leave behind your greatest fear. Are you ready?" Her heart pounded. Was this fear bigger than her life itself? Sana sat by the pool and began praying. The villagers stood silently. Even Bano was beside them. The water in the pool filled with light, and Azar's form appeared once more. This time, he was fully human, his face filled with sorrow and hope. To end. "My punishment, you must sacrifice everything. Your prayer will free me, but you may lose your life." Sana's heart trembled. Could she give such a great sacrifice? She looked at the villagers, then into her aunt's eyes. Bano's eyes filled with tears. "Sana, don't do this." "You are like my own daughter," Bano pleaded, but Sana felt a strange peace within. "If this is Allah's will, then I am ready." She closed her eyes and prayed, "O Allah, if my life can free this soul, I sacrifice everything. Just give me the certainty that this is the right path." At her words, the pool glowed with bright light, and a strange voice echoed as if centuries of burden were lifting. Azar's form changed back into a human, tears in his eyes. "Sana, your prayer has freed me. You will always be remembered." At that moment, a strong light surrounded Sana, and she vanished. The villagers shouted in surprise, and Bano collapsed to the ground, crying, "Sana, my daughter." The pool water was calm again, and on the walls of the sacred place appeared a new carving, Sana's name, glowing with light. Had Sana truly disappeared, or had she gone to another world? Days passed, and Sana's story became a legend in the village. It is said that her prayer not only freed Azar's soul, but also brought a new light to the hearts of the villagers. Bano, who once doubted Sana, built a small shrine in her memory, where people came to pray. Often, Bano would say with tears in her eyes, "Sana taught us that there is no greater magic than truth and faith."